Hey guys, it's the middle of the night, and I thought, you know what, this would be the perfect time to record that update video that I've been meaning to do for the past few days, but haven't. And I figured I'd just set it to the last video I recorded, which is Fire Emblem 7. I mean, I was hoping to have Saints Row 3, because I actually finished that game recently, so, you know, I would have recorded another update video to that, and then I would have an update video for all the Saints Row games I own, because I still don't have Gat Out of Hell. I haven't played that yet, but anyway, yeah, update video. Few things to update about. First things first, the reason I can't play Saints Row 3 is because I don't actually have a school laptop now, considering the fact that it is summer and I'm not currently in school, so there's that. But, on the bright side, I mentioned this on Twitter when it actually happened, but, yeah, I actually got my computer back because the solution was, well, very simple. Turns out the hard drive wasn't dead, it was just like a wire or something, I don't know, snapped, and it was a really easy fix. Like, within the day that the laptop was sent in for repairs, it was fixed. So all along, it was a really simple solution, and if I had just gotten around to it sooner, then yeah, it could have been fixed sooner. If I had done it, like, right when it happened, I could have had my computer back pretty quickly. But yeah, I was mostly shirking on that because of school and stuff. Well, not really, and stuff, just school. But yeah, so yeah, that means I didn't actually lose that Fire Emblem footage that I was hoping I hadn't lost, and I didn't. Didn't quite come in time for Castle Crashers, because I did actually have to do a second run for that, but I don't mind. I mean, am I really going to complain about having to play Castle Crashers? I mean, come on, I play that game pretty often, so it's not a huge problem. And, I think I had a little more footage. I think it's mostly just games here and there that I might have started playing after winter break. It might not have been backed up, but yeah, everything's fine now, so hooray for that. So now that that's over and done with, yeah, I'm still not going to get back to Shadow Dragon until later on in the year, just because I've rescheduled completely. Though to be completely fair, I'm half tempted to actually post the part that was supposed to be posted the Friday after my computer. I can't really say died, considering it didn't even die. It just had a very minor problem, from what I understand. But yeah, Shadow Dragon, I do kind of want to do that just because, even when it goes a while between updates, I usually just sort of get back into it, you know? Like, usually, if I don't post videos in a while, I just sort of get back into it. I don't mention that I've been gone for a while, but Shadow Dragon, I might have to do that just because it's been that long, and even I've kind of lost track of what I was saying, so I'm probably going to have to watch my own videos. Yeah, just so I know what I've already mentioned before, because I don't want to be discussing the same things over and over in the strategy RPG, because that's really not a good idea. I mean, there's still plenty of stuff to cover in Shadow Dragon, so I'm pretty sure I'm fine in that regard, but yeah, might have to mention that, but I don't know. Again, I'm half tempted to post the last episode and just make note that it's still going to be a while before Shadow Dragon continues, but it will continue. I don't know, I might do that, because not everyone watches these update videos, I'm gonna guess. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know. Views just sort of happen, you know? You get 3 views here, you get 4 views here, you get no views here, though, to be fair, I think that might be YouTube's fault for not registering it or something, because sometimes I see a video that says no views, but it has a like on it, so what do you know, YouTube is being broken. That is totally surprising to everyone. I bet all of you just can't believe that that's even a possibility, that YouTube might have screwed something up. It's just such an out there thing, you know. But yeah, so that's important stuff. anything else important? Well, I should suppose that I am trying to get Windows 8 VMware up and running so that I can do other stuff. I think the biggest thing I'm going to miss is disk space, because that could be problematic since I now need a VMware dedicated to Windows 8 rather than just having a computer with it. But, you know, that would mean I could play stuff like Saints Row again, which is better for me, really. Means I can use Bandicam again. Let's see what else. I mean, it ran DS emulators pretty well, and, of course, we are getting to the point where I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy III, because that had to happen eventually, unfortunately. But, actually, coming up close to the 3rd year anniversary of this channel being up. That is, I will actually check what day that is. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more weeks, and then the anniversary is on a Sunday, because that's going to be June the 21st. So yeah, 4 more weeks, and that's actually going to be when both Minish Cap and Castle Crashers finish up. They were actually supposed to finish up a week before, but, you know, I kind of accidentally took a week off. I didn't want to. It was just an accident because I've been figuring stuff out with a computer, you know. I've been messing with stuff, trying to get Windows 8 up and running, and then when that didn't work, because Castle Crashers was recorded on a codec that normal Windows XP doesn't really care for, I had switched to a different snapshot. So basically, yeah, it's been a bit of a mess. Been going back to the old messy way of recording videos, but at the same time, the audio aspect is much better. I prefer recording commentary like this, because other videos, other computers rather, the audio peaks really easily, and I don't feel like I really have any control over the volume. And I sort of do with an older version of Windows Movie Maker. Of course, the problem is, it's kind of a tug-of-war between the video's audio and the audio I add in. You can't actually change them separately, it has to be between them, so unfortunately I am going to have to get this sorted out before I start doing stuff like Phoenix Wright again, because I do like being able to raise the volume for certain parts, but then lowering it when I'm talking. That is kind of a useful feature that it sucks that it wasn't included in earlier movie makers, but I suppose it's understandable that it was fairly basic back then. Of course, that doesn't really excuse the fact that they kind of screwed a few things up later on, but hey, whatever. But yeah, some things are easier about working with this, and other things are more difficult, because, of course, it's can't really go off without a hitch, can it? But, nah. Either way, though, where was I? Oh yeah, I think I got off on a tangent about anniversary stuff. So yeah, 4 more weeks of Minish Cap and Castle Crashers, and then it's going to be anniversary, and then I'm going to start Final Fantasy III. I do have quite a bit of that game recorded, but I'm not quite done with it yet, so I do hope I can do quite a bit more of it before I actually start it, because it would be nice to have as much done as possible, because I am actually doing MogNet for that, so it does take a little bit of time to actually do letter stuff, since you can't just send letters willy-nilly. You gotta wait an hour, and you've got to send letters to friends, by which I mean I use codes to make the game think that I've sent like 99 mails so that I can actually do MogNet side quest stuff. But yeah, there's that, and the side project for that is, I suppose I might as well say it. I'm not that secretive. Sometimes, anyway. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, but alongside that, I'm going to be doing Space Channel 5, and I'm really interested in actually doing that, because that's going to be a very interesting one. That one's going to be a hybrid of audio commentary and text, because for those of you who don't know, Space Channel 5 is a rhythm game, and, you know, it's usually sacrilege to speak over rhythm games, and Space Channel 5 is basically the best rhythm game, like, period. It's a rhythm game with a plot, which you'd think would be the worst idea, but it's actually the best. I mean, granted, Space Channel 5 Part 2, definitely a better game, but the first game's also pretty good. So yeah, I do kind of want to get into editing that, because that's going to be a pretty fun one, but depends on if I want to do, like, what are they called, annotations or not. Because I was thinking of maybe doing my own text commentary and annotations, but then I'd have to upload the video, annotate it, and then put it up, and that would be a lot of work on the days they actually did go up, and I'm not sure I really want to deal with that stress, to be honest. I mean, they only go up on weekends, so it'd be easy enough, but still. Actually, then that would be an entire weekend dedicated to doing Space Channel 5. But yeah, that, however, is completely recorded for the main game, and most of the extra stuff I want to post. It's just, I might not be able to record all the profiles, because you actually get profiles for all the characters in the game, including the random characters who don't matter and you just save. Yeah, those guys have profiles, and I kind of want to unlock them all, but that actually involves sometimes doing worse at the game. I mean, basically there's some paths and certain characters you'll only encounter if you're at like a certain range of view ratings. So, while I did get 100% view rating in a no-miss run for the normal playthrough, I do kind of have to do some stuff on my own to maybe unlock those guys, but I don't know, it might be a bit too much of a hassle to sort of do well enough to pass, but not do that well so that I miss those things, but yes, I do 100% run, or no-miss run rather. Might not be a 100% run, but please tell me that that whole input lag for emulators thing is true. Because I saw a couple of videos where people are saying like, oh, I'm sorry for not being good at the game, but there's emulator input lag, and at the time I was just scoffing at them because I was like, oh, pff, excuses, you're just bad at the game, and lo and behold, it took a while to record that stuff, especially perfectly. So yeah, I guess I'm not much better off, but, you know, maybe I have some sense of rhythm, and it's just being thrown off by the fact that it's not on a perfect emulator. Maybe that's it. Maybe I have some excuse. I mean, I won't, you know, excuse it completely like that, but it would be nice if not, it wasn't entirely my fault that I suck at the game like that, you know? But yeah, that sure was a thing. So, let's see, that's Space Channel 5, that's going to be a fun one to do, because I like Space Channel 5, it's a good rhythm game. After that, I don't know if I'll really go into what I'm playing, because I'm not going to be switching up games till August, and that's still a ways away. To be fair, it's not that far away at this point, actually. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, our lives are but a small grain of sand in the entirety of time, or something like that. I'm just going to depress everyone by telling them how small they really are in this grand old universe. By the way, I'd like to direct you to a They Might Be Giant song called Older, which is just constantly saying that you are older. And it is true, because every second you are technically older than you were before. Anyway, this is getting depressing, so, let's stop being sidetracked. Done talking about future video stuff and some of what I'll be doing over the summer. Well, I suppose I could mention that I'm back on my Castlevania kick, which actually started back in spring break, because I was actually curious about recording Lament of Innocence, since chronologically that's the first Castlevania game in the series. So, you know, I was interested in getting a PS2 emulator up and running and see if I could do that well, and it actually runs pretty well. No real hiccups. A few here and there, I think, but it ran pretty damn well, so I started recording that, but honestly, because of school, I kind of wasn't really able to play that, because The thing is, I did actually have a practice file as well, since I did not want to be going into that one blind, since it is a beat-em-up game, and a decent one, not the best, but not bad. But yeah, I was doing it alongside my practice file, but I think next time I play the game, I'm just going to beat it on my own, then record it. And yeah, that'll be that, but probably won't do the extra modes, because like most Castlevania games, there are a few extra characters you can play as, but they don't seem like they'd be too fun. But yeah, that actually started me on a pretty big Castlevania kick, and I've played a fair amount of Castlevania games since then. Over spring break, I played Super Castlevania 4, damn near got a no-hit run of that, except I got nicked by a ghost on one of my runs right as I was going upstairs, and at that point I did the rest of it no-hit, so at that point I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do this stage anymore, because, yeah, I was kind of tired by that point. But I also did, Castlevania Legends, which of course is the non-canon one, because God forbid Sonya Belmont's canon. And I actually did Castlevania 3, I think before last summer. Yeah, because I uploaded Castlevania 3 pretty much the same time I was uploading the rest of Sacred Stones on my non-commentary channel. So yeah, I already have that recorded, and once I start recording Lament of Innocence, then sometime probably next year, I'd imagine, I can actually start doing the Castlevania series again. I mean, I know I did start with Harmony of Dissonance, but that was kind of a terrible playthrough, and coincidentally, I did actually start playing that game again, and I'm almost at the end. In fact, I am at the end. I beat the final boss, but the thing is, for that particular run, I'm doing a no-hit run against bosses. For the rest of the game, I'm fine being hit, but bosses, no, I gotta get through those unscathed. Which isn't too much of a problem in Harmony of Dissonance, because most of the bosses are easy. Not Maxim, though. Oh, no. Oh, Maxim, you've got to recognize everything he does, and even then, even after you get pretty precise, there's still a pretty good chance that at some point he'll screw you over by throwing a frickin' shuriken or something, or using that clone attack, and sometimes you're just too nervous to be at the right distance, or sometimes one of his clones will just immediately move horizontally and hit you, no matter how hard you try to waggle your whip at him. So, yeah, he's been a pain in the ass. I did beat him for recording the bad ending. I still have to beat him 2 more times, and God, I cannot wait to get to Dracula Wraith, because that boss is so much easier. It isn't even funny. So yeah, that's a bit of a hang-up, and let's see, other than that, also recorded Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. That's one of the Game Boy games. Not amazing, but not a bad game. It was alright. And other than that, I've not completed, but I have started playing Castlevania Bloodlines, the Castlevania game for the Genesis? Why hasn't anyone told me how great Bloodlines is? Like, it is legitimately one of my favorite classic-style Metroid games, or Metroid? Castlevania games. I think I was trying to say Metroidvania for some reason, but yeah, I really screwed that one up. Castlevania actually exists in the Metroid universe, you know? It's just a shame. Eventually the planet will be blown up, and then no one has to worry about Dracula anymore, but also the Belmonts are dead. Thanks, Samus! Okay, but in all seriousness, Bloodlines is legit pretty good, except for the stage I just completed the other day, which is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I laughed that that was actually a stage. I thought it would be pretty fun. However, it wasn't. There were a lot of annoying parts to the stage, and holy crap, the boss was terrible. Like, I did not have any fun with that guy at all, to be completely honest. Like, you have a very tiny battle area to work with, or arena to work with. It's constantly spinning for no reason. It's not the spinning Tower of Pisa, so I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. I'm gonna guess that's the forces of hell doing that. You know, you're trying to fight on top of the tower, and down on the ground, there are just like a bunch of skeletons shifting the tower around, and it's really annoying, but yeah, then the boss has a spread shot, and he's got a tail whip attack. It's just not a fun boss. It took, I think, half an hour to an hour to actually get that guy and get a good run, and also, sorry, I bumped the mic because I'm using a headset mic. That's probably not always the best idea, but yeah, that's just about it. I was also playing Portrait of Ruin casually because I felt like it, as well as Dawn of Sorrow because that's actually the one Metroidvania game I haven't really played, or at least the ones on the Game Boy Advance and DS. And yeah, that one was pretty decent so far, but I got to a part where you actually need to use the touchscreen to progress. Like, you have to break ice blocks while riding along a platform, and it's probably not too bad on an actual DS. On an emulator, it's probably not impossible, but it sure as hell isn't easy. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out something. Maybe the emulator has some sort of mode where you, like, widen the area of the stylus effects, I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of a stopping point for me, unfortunately, which is a shame, because Dawn of Sorrow was fun so far. You know, fought a tough boss who shot a laser out of his eye. He was pretty cool. But yeah. Coincidentally, though, it is a bit of a coincidence that I'm on a Castlevania kick, because you might have heard recently, but, you probably heard about stuff going on at Konami. They clearly don't want to make video games anymore, and are determined to go out in a horrible blaze that will consume them all. But yeah, one of the guys that jumped ship was Igarashi, who is pretty much the director of most of the Metroidvanias, if not all of them. And he does a pretty good job on the Castlevania games, you know, pretty good director. But he recently did a Kickstarter for a new game that he wants to make, and it got funded very quickly, so that's going to be a thing. Also, he's working with Intai Creates, and that's pretty cool. If you don't know what Intai Creates is, they were involved in the Mega Man series. I'm actually gonna look them up real quick. So, let's see what they had. Mega Man 0, Mega Man 02, 3, 4, ZX, ZX Advent, Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10. So, yeah, they were involved with quite a few Mega Man games, so while it is a different thing, they did kind of, you know, make Mega Man 0, and that's my favorite Mega Man series, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this, and though I'm not the biggest fan of ZX anymore, I really liked it as a kid, but map design doesn't quite hold up, so it's not one of my favorite games. So they do have some experience with a Metroidvania game. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna guess some people are worried about it, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, that's, oh shoot, what's the game called? Blood something? I mean, of course it involves blood, it's freaking Igarashi. There's fucking super gore in, like, every Castlevania game. Bloodstained, I think it's called. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. Because I was just thinking how gore wasn't really a huge thing until the first 3D Castlevania, which, for a moment, I thought was Lament of Innocence. And then I remembered one more game that I was playing casually, and that would be Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, which is basically, from what I've read, a director's cut of Castlevania 64, which is kind of infamous for being bad. So yeah, I did start playing that myself, because I'll be damned if I'm recording that one blind. And it's a good thing I'm not, because first stage of that game really isn't good. You're on a haunted ship, and it's a level that really requires use of jumping and camera movement, neither of which are things that the game is good at. Like, by any stretch of the imagination, they're both god-awful, but after that, there's something kind of endearing about the game and how bad it is. Like, it's less frustratingly bad because there's a little less need for precision rather, in later stages. So it's not nearly as annoying to do. Yeah. I'm just thinking about that game now. I got right up to the point before the Bone Dragon boss. I am able to beat it, I just want to beat it with, losing less health, because that guy's a bit difficult than most of the bosses so far. But yeah, I've been having some kind of bizarre fun with it, even though it's definitely not a good game at all. But yeah, there's that. There's also a day-night system, which, from what I've read, I know it matters for the two characters who return from Castlevania 64, because what I understand is Castlevania 64 had two characters. Since this is a director's cut, there's actually two more characters in this that weren't in Castlevania 64. And you have to play as the Wolfman first. You can't play as Schneider and Carrie, or whatever their names are. And then there's a fourth guy, but I don't think he's too important. I think his story is just rescue some children, hooray. But I know there's a bad ending of some sort if you don't complete the game in a certain amount of days for the other two. I don't remember reading if there's a bad ending for Cornell. I'd imagine there would be, and his sister dies or something like that, I don't know, but yeah, there's a day-night system, which does matter because one thing I did know about the game before getting into it was that it's the one game in the Castlevania series where you can actually be turned into a vampire, so I thought that was pretty neat, but yeah, vampires are stronger at night, and also if you're infected with vampirism and you reach midnight, then that's just an automatic game over, because you turn into a full vampire. So yeah, there is that. I should continue playing that, because that is indeed a video game. I don't think anyone can deny that. Okay, so that's the rest of what I had to say about Castlevania. So that was a whole lot of Castlevania talk. Do I have anything else to say is the question. I mean, I've been playing this, Fire Emblem 7. I was actually in the middle of it before. I had just gotten to the Dread Isle, but I realized I actually did have the ability to defeat Kashwan on Hector's story, which means I could actually access the Gaiden chapter from the Gaiden chapter. Like, you go to a Gaiden chapter, and then if you fulfill certain requirements, then you can go to a second Gaiden chapter. Yeah, there are a few very annoying, very small things that you can see in Fire Emblem 7, aka this game, and they're all very small bits of story that you can't even see until Hector mode. So I decided to redo this game because, while one of the requirements is killing the boss who runs away the turn after you attack him, there's another requirement to get to that second Gaiden chapter. See that kid in the corner? That's Nils. He has to be at level 7 if you want to get to that Gaiden chapter, and for no reason as well. Like, it's so arbitrary, but he has to be at level 7 by the end of the story if you want to be able to access that Gaiden chapter. I still don't know why yet, but yeah, I decided to redo the game in order to get to that. Because I guess if I am able to kill Kashwan, then I should record everything. Blarg. And Lynn's story isn't really that fun, to be fair, especially the early chapters, which are such basic maps. And then the map that I thought I liked, the one where you're guarding a fortress, yeah, I normally like that one. Had a really bad run of luck there. Normally I don't complain about Fire Emblem RNG either. I see people like, oh, Fire Emblem RNG is so terrible. I'm like, it's not that bad. And yet, here I've had misses at like 80-something%, and enemy hits at like 10%. So yeah, it's not been that bad. It was just that one particular chapter that was really bad, but yeah, overall, not overly terrible. But yeah, it just kind of sucks that I was so far into the game, but because I didn't level up Nils to level 7 here, I couldn't actually get the the Gaiden chapter, and if you were paying attention, Nils levels up really slowly. He gets 10 experience every time. So, it's gonna be a while, and I probably am going to have to grind at some point. At least there's not a limit to how many times he can play his song. And I just realized I have to wrap this up quickly because I got 4 minutes left. I thought I was actually going to cut this out in the middle of the episode, but no, I'm actually going to get to the end of this. I'm just trying to think of anything else I might be important. I don't think I've been recording anything else other than the usual stuff. Oh, of course, Splatoon comes out this Friday. I'll probably get that. I haven't pre-ordered it just yet, and I probably should off Amazon, because, I mean, there's a GameStop somewhat nearby, but it's driving distance and not walking distance. Plus, it's probably a midnight release, and I don't want to go to that. I'm not walking over to GameStop miles away for a release that, you know, I probably won't even get a copy if I do it like that, so I'm gonna try my luck with Amazon. And also, I want to play Mario Kart 8 because someone recently started playing that fairly frequently, and while it's been a while since I've Mario Karted, I figure, you know what, I might as well do a little bit more. You know, warm up the old Wii U in time for Splatoon so I can squid it up in that game. But yeah, it's been a while since I played Mario Kart 8. Haven't actually played the DLC, and I think I only ever got to, like, a ranking of 2,000 something points? I forget what it even was, but yeah. It's been a while, and unfortunately due to school, I don't think I was really able to play Mario Kart in its prime. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of players now, online, but the thing is, first off, it's been almost a year since it came out. Second off, Smash Brothers. Third off, new game coming out soon, so sadly, I think Mario Kart will be a little more dead because of those things, but it'll still have some player base. I mean, Mario Kart DS had a player base for quite a while, even after it more or less died, I think. But yeah, there'll be some people playing it, but honestly, I'm really excited for Splatoon because first time I tried the Global Test Fire, didn't exactly work. I only tried playing on Friday, I think it was? Yeah, I was only able to catch the Friday time, not the Saturday times, but yeah, I wasn't able to get into a good server because it just booted me out, unfortunately. And almost immediately as well, so all I've really played is the tutorial, so, it controls pretty well, I can say that. But all I can say otherwise is it looks pretty damn fun, just don't know that myself, because I haven't played it. And also, not yesterday now, since it's 1 o'clock in the morning, jeez, but Saturday, there was another test fire, which I was planning on playing, and then I forgot it was on Saturday, so whoops, my bad. Apparently the server was quite stressed that day, though, for a fair amount of time, so hopefully they get that fixed in time. I'd imagine, though, that there will be a few less people playing it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be fairly popular, but I'd imagine there are just some people playing it since it's temporarily free, so, you know, they can just get a few games in real quick and probably won't buy it immediately or at all when it launches. So, you know, hopefully I can actually get into a game, considering it is a multiplayer game for multiple people, you know. Oh geez, but I have just a few seconds to wrap up this video, and it's 34 minutes long, which I really didn't mean, so I'm sorry for taking up half an hour of your time, but whatever. See you next time, either for Minish Cap if I haven't uploaded that yet, or Castle Crashers tomorrow if Minish Cap's already been uploaded. Okay, finishing up now, bye.